Dumelang Absheni, Ralocha, Sanmanani, Mulweni. My name is Naledi Mfoloe, and it is my absolute pleasure to welcome you to the latest edition of the African Diaspora News Channel, where we unravel the stories that shape our world and our communities. The Umkhonto weSizwe Party, or MKP, will take to the streets of Durban in what they've called a massive march. Now, it's a march not only about the future of the province of KwaZulu-Natal, but also about confronting the painful racial tension. Now, what sparked this march? It's the recent comments by Helen Zille, the DA's federal chairperson, that has left many South Africans, especially black South Africans, deeply angered. Now, Zille, in a media interview, referred to MKP and the EFF as dogs. Let's have a look.
So we aren't, and I'll be quite honest, I mean, we could threaten to bring KwaZulu-Natal down if they don't agree to the document's terms in Gauteng, but we're not going to do that. We're not irresponsible people. We don't want to hand KwaZulu-Natal to MK and the EFF. It would be a total disaster for that province. So we're not about to do that. There are other levers that we're going to use. Obviously there are. But we're not going to say the people of KwaZulu-Natal can be thrown to the dogs. Not at all.
Now, I'm sure we all can agree that language matters, right? And when you're a public figure like Zille, every word counts, especially when addressing communities that have been historically oppressed. I mean, the phrase she used, whether intentional or not, has left a bitter taste for many, particularly amongst black South Africans. And it's understandable why people are outraged. To be compared to dogs or to be treated as less than is an insult, which is one that many feel is part of a long history of racism that continues to plow society. Now, Reggie Ngobo, who is actually one of the MK's regional leaders, didn't mince his words when he spoke. I mean, he said, and I quote, "We are tired of these racists who use English to undermine us and then later claim that they were using figures of speech." Now, the MK is not just marching to express anger. They're marching to demand an apology, to demand accountability from Zille, who many say has a history of racially insensitive remarks. I mean, there is no denying that Helen Zille has a track record of controversy on racial issues. I mean, she's been accused before of using language that strokes division. In 2012, she referred to Eastern Cape pupils migrating to the Western Cape for better education as refugees. Yes. This is another comment many say is as dismissive and dehumanizing. But let's also take a moment to talk about the legal context here. MK officials like Bongani Cele and Reggie Ngobo have made it clear that they're not just marching in protest. They're considering legal action against Zille, citing her comments as hate speech. They argue that Zille's language is not just inflammatory, but it is incitement to racial harm. And you know what? I agree. Language like that doesn't just sting in the moment. It has a ripple effect that reverberates across communities and generations. It's more than just words. It's about power, it's about history and identity. And for many black South Africans, being called a dog actually evokes painful images of a time when our humanity was questioned and when we were treated as less than people. We cannot ignore that history. But what makes the situation more complicated is Zille's stance. She's holding a firm stance that she was simply using a figure of speech, that she didn't mean to offend anyone. But let's be real. In a country like South Africa, where racial tensions still run high, those kinds of figures of speech are dangerous. They don't land the same way in black communities as they would in white ones. And at the heart of this controversy is the same question we've been grappling with as a nation for decades, which is, can we really call ourselves a rainbow nation when the incidents like this continue to expose the deep divisions that exist between us? Now, the march in Durban is a protest against more than just one woman's words. It's a stand against racism, against the undermining of black people's dignity, and against a political system that's, for some, continues to fail them. Now, the MK and their allies will take to the streets on Wednesday, and as they march, they will demand an apology from Zille, and they will demand to be heard. And I have to say, as a person who's been part of the struggle in one way or another, I stand with those who are saying enough is enough. We will not be silenced. We will not be treated as less than. Now, that's just my opinion. What is yours? Please, let's continue the conversation in the comment section. We really want to hear from you. What are your thoughts in regards to this? And while you're at it, please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. That's it from me. Till we meet again, it is bye-bye for now.